What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is Baywatch. Baywatch is an action comedy film that was directed by Seth Gordon and is based on the 90s TV show also titled Baywatch. Well, this Baywatch film takes place in Florida and follows a crew of lifeguards, an elite division of lifeguards referred to as Baywatch that protect the beaches and the bay. The Baywatch crew is led by Lieutenant Mitch Buchanan, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who inspires and motivates the Baywatch crew to not only excel at their jobs, but to also buy into the Baywatch lifestyle. Part of buying into the Baywatch lifestyle includes patrolling the bay without jurisdiction, and when some drugs start making their way onto the beaches, the Baywatch team decides to start investigating. They have a sneaky suspicion that a businesswoman named Victoria Leeds, played by Priyanka Chopra, is up to no good, and the rest of the film is spent watching the Baywatch team investigate her and attempt to rid their beach of crime and drugs, while we also watch the team bond alongside one another. Okay, so I was excited, but I really didn't expect a lot from this film, because when I initially saw the trailers, I thought to myself, wow, Baywatch is totally trying to rip off the Jump Street franchise, and sadly the full movie definitely feels the exact same way the trailer did. It's a poor, unfunny imitation of the Jump Street films. Baywatch does have some fun moments, but it's mostly a disaster. It's really pretty awful, and there are a lot of problems I have with this film, but the biggest one just has to be how unfunny it is. I mean, if you're gonna so openly try to replicate and capitalize and profit off the style and success of the Jump Street films, at least do it well. This movie constantly hits you with poorly written unfunny joke after poorly written unfunny joke, and after a while you're just gonna be like, man, this is so incredibly disappointing. Because part of what made the Jump Street films so hilarious were just how cleverly written and delivered their jokes were. I mean, there's a lot of quotable lines from those films that Baywatch just doesn't have anything close to. When you go see a comedy film like this, you're expecting silly yet clever fun, and Baywatch just rarely delivers on that front. And really, the chemistry is just not there between any of these actors. The characters suck, and it almost feels like the actors know it and they're trying to overdo it to bring some life to them. It was really tough to watch because I love The Rock and I love Zac Efron, and it's not like they really mailed it in and sucked in this movie. It's just that they're not given a whole lot to work with here. Their characters are just bad. I was particularly upset about what you get with Zac Efron's character because I've seen this dude be absolutely hilarious in a couple films now, but his character in Baywatch is just so unlikable and unfunny. He's a total bro, and he's just an asshole for most of the film. Then he does this sudden, inexplicable, complete 180 in personality solely because the story demands it, and even then he's still not interesting or funny. It's crazy. And really, like I said, this crew is seriously lacking in chemistry. They all have a couple moments individually, but they just never cohesively come together as a team in a way that feels united and, more important, funny. What this feels like is 6 actors all delivering individual, occasionally inconsistent performances that all feel like they belong in different movies. Also, I should note that this story makes very little sense. Characters' motivations inexplicably change by the second, there's plot holes left and right, the pacing of the story is all over the place, and the primary conflict is just so incredibly predictable and underwhelming that it's pretty damn frustrating. I mean, if your movie is hilarious, then I think a lot of audience members are willing to forgive you for all of those things, but when your comedy film lacks good comedy, you got a serious problem. And as if things couldn't get any worse, the action isn't good either. There's a handful of action scenes in this film, and some of them are brutally bad. The whole movie is very, very poorly edited, but some of the action scenes just look awful. There's one scene that you probably saw in the trailer that looks really bad in the full-length film. It's the one where The Rock is saving people on the boat, and there's like CGI fire, and it's a mess. Something else I want to mention is that this Baywatch film often feels more like an assortment of music video clips than an actual film. I get they were trying to recapture the essence of the Baywatch TV show with all the slow-mo, but man, this Baywatch movie really overdoes it. It felt like every other scene was a slow-mo action shot mixed with some dubstep music. It's almost like a studio exec was like, alright, we got bouncing boobies in slow motion for the guys, we got Zac Efron shirtless for the ladies, and then we'll mix in some high energy dubstep because that's all the rage among the kids these days. It's gonna be hashtag totally lit fam. But overall, I really was disappointed by Baywatch. It's gonna be a huge letdown for a lot of people. I did think it had a handful of funny moments and some good acting individually from a few of the actors. Sadly, I also felt the film as a whole was incredibly unfunny and lacking in creativity. There was zero chemistry between the Baywatch crew, the story makes very little sense, and the action and editing are awful. I'm gonna give Baywatch a 3 out of 10 and definitely recommend you pass on this one in theaters unless you love the TV show and have to see the film. This is a Jump Street ripoff with none of the wit or charm. So did you guys see Baywatch yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know whether you were looking forward to this film or not. I was, but man did it let me down. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.